And we are live! Welcome to Battle Epic Stream, where we have the Battlefield Community League match between FatSom and Phoenix Pyre. Interesting game tonight. It's Conquest, and it seems like FatSom is on the blue team and the red team is represented by Phoenix Pyre. I have loads of guys with me tonight. Of course, there is my good friend Mark. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm very good, mate. Looking forward to this game. It should be a real cracker.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how FatSom does this time. And we also have a newcomer, Mr. Craael. How are you doing? Is it exciting or is it exciting?
Hey guys, I'm really excited to watch this match and see how it goes. It looks like a very balanced game for a minute, but let's see how it rolls out.
Indeed we do. So, the blue team is the FatSom, who seems to have a quite a solid lead right in the get-go. 325 tickets against 187 or 88 or 89. Oh, they are gaining like hell, but they are gaining from the PxP
Craael
side.
Watching the beginning of this round where we were getting on air there. So what's been happening so far, Craael?
Well, at the moment you can see that the blue team, the guys from the FatSom, are trying to keep the hold of the C and Delta. They are holding the middle of the map, while the Phoenix are basically just running around them, trying to catch the E and the B, which is basically at the moment controlled by the FatSom, who are holding 3 flags at the moment.
Yeah, and we have LMNT from FatSom side in his favorite job in the business. He's running a light tank. And usually he's been quite devastating with those tanks, or basically on whatever warehouse there is. And he's keep on killing guys, and now he's running away because of heavy enemy fire. He's badly hurt, but he's not stopping for repairing. And he's going down! Is he? No, he got hit, but he's still running, and going forward.
Looks like he has been able to escape. When we look at the D, we got there guys from the Phoenix who are trying to swarm it over from the buildings. They are taking over the D. At the moment, there's only one player who's hiding at the building, and that's going to be Neox, who's trying to go to the D, but he probably won't be able to do there anything, as there's 4-5 players from the Phoenix waiting down there.
And it seems like that's the only flag that there is some actual action going on. I don't understand why people are fighting still on the no man's in the no man's area between B and C, but now all the red ones, so Phoenix Pyre guys, are wasted from there. And it seems like FatSom is moving towards the Duff now. There seems to be building up something on the Charlie flag here. The Phoenix Pyre guys are moving from several directions towards the Charlie, and but they're moving away. I don't get it. Now I'm losing the idea that Charlie is not capped, and most of the team are running away. Now they must have some bad intentions in their mind. Oh, they flanked to behind. That's nice. Wrecky Balls and Sim Niptum, they're kind of flanking in behind. Now Wrecky Balls is down, but the other guy who was here, there he is. There's 2 guys. Too good to foil, and Sin something. Yeah, Sin Tom.
Just make it all jumper, it's okay.
Doing my best, man. He's still flanking behind, and that's just kind of a nasty move, but they would need those flags. Oh, and he was sniped by a hood lamp. Just like that.
Now when we look at the guys from the Phoenix are losing there. They were outnumbered from the squads that are moving from Bravo. Now FatSom are going to catch it over. I can see there only one player, that's the kill streak, and he's down as well now. The FatSom are going to catch the D. The Phoenix got wiped out on the D, and there's no competition on that flag. There's only one player hiding in the building, that's Nissan, and it looks like he's going into the fight at the moment. When we look at the Charlie, the guys from the Phoenix are trying to take it over. There's a pretty balanced amount of players, and the Phoenix just got wiped out again. And FaSo are dominating this game. They get Delta, they get Charlie. They are losing Bravo, but it looks like they will hold it. Anyway, the guys from the Phoenix got only Echo, but that's not going to be enough. The difference is almost 200 points at the moment.
Yeah, I'm riding here with LMNT, who is repairing his light tech in the sideway alley. And actually there isn't any opposition. He did some good killing a moment ago here. He was kind of flanking from behind from all the Phoenix Pyre guys, and they were just wondering what the heck just happened when they were blasted away in very high arcs. Now LMNT has his ride back. He has pimped his ride and he's back in business, and he's going to challenge probably Edwards next, because he's shooting towards Edwards, but he's making a smart move. He's not pushing too much. He's just
He's
kind
got
of...
PxP and repairman on him here. They're all assaults, and they're not really taking the opportunity to get into him. He's a light tank at the end of the day. You know, they are vulnerable. They're not as heavily armed as the heavy tank, believe it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
you can
they're
actually...
not really taking the chance to get into him there.
Yeah, you can actually get the light tank down quite easily. Just one nice limbed or couple of shots and he's down. And he had again time to repair it, and he's going to be in mint condition in no time.
And when you look at the team play of the Phoenix, at the moment they're not able to push anything. They're not able to regroup. They are being picked out one by one by the guys from the FaSo. There's a small push coming from the Foxtrot up to Delta. Let's see if it will be successful, but I believe it's probably already too late. The game seemed to be quite passive from the Phoenix. They didn't put a big show. At the moment they're losing massively. It's 200 points. There's no chance they can catch this up, and they are probably going to lose the first game.
Yeah, it's quite
the
clear.
Tactics. What do you think, guys? What were the tactics before the match? Because if you look, the Phoenix basically lost 2 flags and they were not able to get them back throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and
I think so often we've seen on this map, it's all about the train tracks really. I'd be interested to know whose map choice this was. I would have fancied FatSom on this map just because of the team play we've seen from in the past. They are very tightly drilled.
They're playing for the objective. If you look at some guys from Phoenix, they were hiding there in the buildings, which I don't see much of a point in this play when you are losing by such a huge amount of points. Now they managed to catch the Charlie and Delta, but I don't think that's going to change anything. We got 3 tickets left to the end of the game, and the guys from the FaSo got this map clearly.
And there we have
200 points difference.
And Amiens actually was Phoenix Pyre's map. They wanted Amiens, and FatSom is going to have Sanquentis car. So they were dominating on a PxP map. Which
they got dominated on their own map.
Yeah, which basically comes down to the fact that they have just so good individual player skills that they can do it easily on whatever opponent. And the interesting fact is also that they were actually playing on US server. And I know FatSom guys, they are Finnish guys, so they are European players, and they should be having quite drastic ping on their hands. But it's interesting that they were dominating even in the foreign soil. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see if they're actually going to start on 3-minute mark. That's quite a common situation that they spawn on exact 3 minutes, that it's going to happen right about now. Yes, and that's
as if by magic.
It's a kind of magic, man. Both teams are in.
That is the most organised start I've ever seen to a round. I'm going to jump in with Nissan Elvis series, jump straight into the Jeep. Got Repairman Patch, Crack Fred and Kill Street Bro on
FaSo, Mixo is driving FatSo's car. And they are doing exactly what I told. They are rushing towards stuff. Jumping now, a nice ramp jump, and 2 guys are off on DAF. And the rest of the team is already on DAF. And the Phoenix Pyre car is also on Charlie, so there's going to be the first big fight on Charlie then. Both teams are challenging Charlie.
And if you look at the map, you can see that the Phoenix are trying to go forward with the car, while the guys from the FaSo, I'm not even sure where their car is. Is it destroyed already? It looks like it's gone. I can see there only 1 heavy tank. And yeah, the car is gone, the car is destroyed. But the guys from the Phoenix are going around from Charlie. They might be going for Echo eventually. Let's see what they will pull out. What's kind of a play.
Yeah, it looks like they are challenging Echo right now. They've got Symptom and Good to Fail over there making a push. Looks like FatSom only have LMNT in defence in the heavy tank here at the moment. Fio, our old friend is coming in defence. Oh, and I think the tank slayed him through the door of the building there. LMNT in typical fashion from him, what we've come to expect. Expect the unexpected.
It was quite unexpected because at this time of the game you would be already expecting the tank to be somewhere around Charlie Delta, but he was still staying in the back, you know, just
like
some kind of a backup.
Tank action here on Duff here as well. Oh, the heavy tank.
Oh, and
down.
there
Sorry
was a very good shot.
so.
I was just about to mention that now we have heavy tank, but I didn't even have time to say that before it was wasted. That was fast, man.
And we can see that the guys from Phoenix I can see that there are 3 players on Charlie. I'm not sure if that's necessary. And actually there is a heavy tank coming onto Charlie now. And let's see what he will do. Now we can see that there are 2 support players who are probably not going to much of a harm to him. And it looks like the guys from FaSo are going to take over the Charlie. They push the guys from Phoenix back. There's only one sniper, who's actually called Sniper, in the back of the Charlie. He's trying to keep the guys off the bridge, but they are going to probably take it anyway. Yes, they're taking Charlie. Again,
it's been a
Delta
super start to the round from PxP though. They've jumped right out there and they're actually in front at the moment, 50 to 43. So they've really learned some lessons from that last round, I think.
Yeah, they are doing a good job here. They're doing a good job there. They have 8 ticket lead. It's not much in 500 ticket game, but still a good start. Now they just need to keep up. Now Duff is going down on their side, on PxP side. FatSom is getting that. Charlie is going down for FatSom as well. So it doesn't look that good anymore if they don't do something drastic in a minute. Now Nissan Elvis is challenging FaSo. He don't have any idea where FaSo is. FaSo is now lost, and he's turned his back to Nissan Elvis, and Nissan Elvis wasted him. Oh, there was some kind of lag or something. Neither of the players knew where they were going.
Now, what I see kind of a failure on the Delta, we had their heavy tank, which was, I believe, like one hit away from being destroyed, and the guys from Phoenix totally ignored it. They walked around it multiple times. There was not even a single shot tried on it. Now I can see they're trying to flank it, but there's already too many players from FaSo.
Yeah,
they're not going to do any harm to the tank.
They have such a respect for LMNT as a tank driver that they didn't want to challenge him. They decided that, hey, let's give him a free pass because we're going to die anyways.
He's actually alone in the tank. You would be expecting that there is at least one player with him who can give him some flanking power in case they swarm around him. But he's alone in the tank all the time. It's pretty easy target to take out. But
yeah, but on the other hand, the thing is that in the 12 versus 12 game, you don't have that many players to spare. If you have 2 or 3 guys, that's basically 1/4 of your team. So it doesn't make any sense in that sense. You just have to kind of...
That's true, yes.
Kind of the main thing is the flag. So if you disturb, if you kind of put your team around the map to challenge different flags, it's far more lucrative than sitting in the tank, because to be honest, you can't do that much harm in tank. Basically, only guy you need in tank is a repairman. Other than that, I think it's a waste of manpower to be sitting guys in the tanks.
And yes, that totally makes sense. You are 100% right in here in this situation. Now he pulled a little bit away from Delta, so the guys from FaSo can spawn on him, and he's not being destroyed. Now, as you can see, Phoenix, they had a very good start. Now again, they got only Charlie, which is being challenged. They're getting again into a very bad situation. If they lost more than 2 or 3 flags, they're going to have a pretty hard time, because the guys from the FaSo will just surround them and they will be able to spawn on in one single point.
Yeah, there was a nice action on Duff a moment ago. Now it's going towards FatSom, as is Charlie as well, and there is no real opposition. A little bit action on Duff at the moment, where Repairman Potch and Craael are challenging the FatSom team. The Craael is still there. Barrett Bro is down, and he should be moving to cap area. He should be moving to cap area right about now, and he gets some friends. Now Chelsea and Marley is there as well, and Craael is moving to cap zone, and the flag is moving. Duff is going down. Good job there, Craael. I hope you don't use it though. And he's down.
And I was for a while I was looking at Good to File, who was trying to challenge Echo, but there was only one player from the guys from the FaSo. Then multiple another team squad members spawned on him. They took him out. There was no way how he could challenge that flag. He was alone against 4. Echo is totally quiet. There's nothing going on. There are guys spawning, of course, from Phoenix who are trying to challenge it, but I don't think that there will be any real option to take it. most of the fights are happening on Delta and Charlie. Phoenix got only Bravo at the moment, and again they are starting to have about a 50-50 tickets difference.
Yeah, think about that. We just mentioned, the last time we mentioned tickets, the Phoenix Pyre was ahead a couple of tickets, and now all of a sudden they have like 50 tickets lead soon. That's just mental, man.
What you can really see from the Phoenix in this game is that they are not really doing much of a split push. They got Bravo, which is perfect for flanking Delta and Charlie. You can do a split push. You can go through the railways. You can go from the buildings. You can try it straight away through the street. But nothing like this happens. If you look at their squads, the players are separated. They're not really playing together. They're not trying to push the enemy back and try to split push. You know, if you have enemies coming from 2 or even 3 sides, it's pretty hard to defend it. But if you look at Phoenix, they're always pushing from one side, which I believe is a huge disadvantage on their side.
Now Phoenix is challenging Charlie. They managed to come in, and I think that the sniper 22nd did a good job there. He had a nice one-on-one fight with TK Fen, but they are now capturing Charlie. They are badly behind on tickets, so they desperately need this flag and additional flags. And surprise, surprise, Duff is going as well. Fragfred is again on Duff, and it's going down. Where are all the players from FatSom? There's nobody on Duff, nobody on Charlie. Where the heck are they?
And the Phoenix are actually challenging Bravo at the moment as well. They are taking Bravo. There's only one player from the FaSo who's the Viper, or sorry, from the Phoenix, it's the Viper who's trying to defend it against FaSo, and FaSo got their only one player left now. I apologize, it was a mistake.
You mentioned a couple of minutes back that there was one guy challenging Edwards, and that seems to have got the attention from FatSom, because most of their team was on Edwards, and that gave a perfect opportunity for Phoenix Pyre come back to the game, and they managed to capture Duff and Charlie while all the FatSom team was back on Edwards.
On Butter at the moment. Looks like just as I interrupted you there, once again the action ended. Good to know I'm consistent tonight. Consistently interrupting with nothing. Just that I'm the nearly man tonight. Every time I try and barge in there, it's just finished.
But Nisa, you know, that's still there. Sniper 22, the Viper, they are still challenging Butters. There is still, that was a good call at the end of today, Mark, because there is still action going around. It was eventually a good call, Jampu.
Yeah, it was eventually a good call.
And they are actually capping it now. The Viper is in there.
Yeah, Viper's got in there. Nixu and Guernsey have just made a push down towards Duff, but it looks like they're going to have to come back now. PxP controlling the centre of the map brilliantly in this round. They're still only 50 tickets behind, and they've not let FatSom get away from them yet, have they?
They would need this. They would need this Butters desperately. Barrett Pro is there challenging there. Nixu joined Barrett, and they are both now going to challenge Butters. But they would, Phoenix Pyre would still need this additional flag to be able to gain a little bit on the tickets, but they are not. Barrett Bro is there. He just tried to knife. No, oh, actually he did knife the sniper. He gave him some love on the form of a bow knife, and now Good to Fail is moving in. They don't know where Barrett Bro is. Viper is moving in as well. Viper is down, but there is still Good to Fail. He's still going around, and he's down. Who killed?
And this was a very solid performance from the Barrett. He killed their 3 players. He managed to stop. The Phoenix from taking the flag. He left at the moment, but I believe that's because he had a pretty low HP and he had to back up a little bit. But he killed another player, and he's still trying to defend Bravo. Oh, yeah. There's Good to Fail, and there are another 2 players from the FaSo who are trying to get it back now again.
Yeah, the flag is still not on Phoenix. Bro. And they went into the building, and meanwhile Barrett Bro, they're playing this
cat and mouse thing.
Yeah, because the whole team came up to the second floor, and there was nobody there greeting them. That's a really nice move.
And if you look at the Bravo now, I believe that the Phoenix are going to pull this for their side. There's only one player from FaSo, and he's going down, and they are going to secure Bravo now.
While that's been happening, we can see LMNT has decided to go with a light tank again this time. It's ditched the heavy tank idea, I think. We've got him and FFFFF now pushing towards Charlie.
FaSo!
Now, if you look at the Charlie is being contested by guys from the Phoenix, and it looks like they are going to catch it. Yet there are still people coming from the Delta, because the guys from FaSo got a really good position. They can spawn on it, and they just can easily push it in the number of a 5, you know, of a full squad even. If you look at it, there's a full squad currently in the building, and there are only 3 players. But there's actually a heavy tank from the Phoenix who's trying to defend the Charlie.
Yeah, the heavy tank is in. Okay. I'm just following the heavy tank, but it seems like he's opposing Element T. But Chelsea Marley just took down the Element T in his light tank. And that was impressive, because Element T is pure poison in those vehicles. That was a good call from PxP to get him down, because he would have been a real pain in the ass with that machine.
Yeah, much more decisive this time, haven't they, PxP? They seem to have been given a kick up the backside in that last round, and they're definitely on it now.
Yeah, they absolutely seem like a different team at the moment, because they are pushing, they are not hesitating, they are going in and they are challenging FatSom like none before. And the last round it seemed like they were a little bit hesitant going in, a little bit hesitant to challenge the guys, but now they're doing a good job. And the tickets, they are still on FatSom S, because Butters seems to be a place where some action still. Now the action has stopped, and they are capping the flag, so the Charlie is the only flag at the moment on PxP. So the FatSom is going to keep on gaining that edge on the flags, on the tickets as well.
Yes, and as you mentioned, the previous game by Phoenix was very passive. There was not really much of an action. They realized they're losing, and you know, the motivation do its thing. Like they were probably a little bit demotivated, as it was their map. They were expecting a little better play. They got a little bit, you know, down as they were totally getting destroyed by the end of the round. Now, definitely a totally different game. You would say that it's a totally different squad as well, but it's still the same players. But you can see much better improvements.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now it seems like FatSom is challenging Charlie as well. There is the heavy tank still camping in there. Butters is back on PxP. They are in okay situation at the moment, because they are on dead even on flags. But Duff is now challenged with PxP, and they would still need that third flag. They can't gain the runaways from FatSom if they don't get at least 3 flags, and that seems to be a big problem. At the moment it's looking good. There are several players from the PxP team now challenging Duff, and they keep on capping it, even though there are lots of players. Now it's a big action. Most of the team is around Duff, and everybody is in there, and the capping has stopped. Rambo Noobs and Steve VRC just came in, and there is 1 guy left. The Crack Fred is doing a good job there, but there's too many opposing team members, and he's down, and Duff is going back down. And while they were challenging Duff so heavily, it seems like FatSom managed to get some traction on Charlie as well.
Now on the Charlie, you can see that there's only about 2 or 3 players from FatSo who are hiding in there, just, you know, keeping time. And actually there was now a pretty solid spawn for the whole squad who's trying to push. There are still 2 of them alive, and actually it looks like they are going to clean it. And there's only 1 player. There's a Barrett and the Repairman who are fighting each other on Charlie. Barrett is below the bridge, and let's see if he can pull anything of this. Like he's surrounded by the guys from the Phoenix. But
yeah, Charlie is going down. Charlie is going down.
The flag,
it is.
It's all very well surrounding the flag, but if 1 guy's on there able to cap it, it's not a very good defense, really, is it?
Oh, good shooting there for Chelsea Marley. He just took down both of the guys capping. They were sitting in 1 big bunch there on the side of that bridge on Charlie, and they were wasted in 1 nicely operated shot or burst of gunfire. That was good call.
And once again we get their Element T, who's in a tank. Nothing surprising really, nothing unexpected. He's actually trying to get the attention of much of the guys from Phoenix, and it actually works. They are following him. 3 players are running away from Charlie, following the tank. But there's no push from the guys from FaSo, who would be trying to take the Charlie, and Element T got destroyed in there. So at the moment Charlie is being held by Phoenix. You can see the same. Actually, they are losing Bravo. Delta is being challenged by Phoenix as well, and Echo is quiet. Most of the game Echo is pretty quiet, there's not really much going on, and Bravo is being taken by FaSo.
I'm following you here, Killstreak Bro, who was just killed when I finally got some airtime. He was based just like that, but it was interesting that we have so many snipers on the PxP side. Now I'm on Sphinx viewing his view, and he's a sniper as well. They are heavily utilizing the flares and snipers, which is a little bit surprising. You don't see that many snipers in these games usually, especially when FatSom is utilizing so many vehicles. It's surprising that they have so many snipers, and at least two, I would say.
Looks like FatSom are starting to assert the dominance here now. Starting to get away a little bit and pushed out to 60 tickets there and got very close to a quad cap. But PxP at the last minute coming back in with Butter and Charlie, luckily for them. Still fighting hard though.
Just one thing related to the sniper, Jampu. You would be expecting that if you are in the team that is losing, you would have maybe one or two snipers who can just pull up the flares, so you have some kind of a map control, and then you would spawn either with medics, assaults, or or support, because you can really utilize the sniper if you are pushing for a flag. And especially if you are in the position of a losing team, you would definitely go for the classes like Assault, who can push heavily and try to take control, while the sniper, personally, I believe it's enough to have one or two snipers in the back who just keep the flares up.
Yeah, but actually now when I'm looking at the players, it seems like FaSo has 3 snipers on, and only 2 is from the PxP side. So they're both utilizing snipers heavily, and I admit that those players, they are extremely important piece of tool. So I think that they are trading a couple of good front line fighters for those players, because it's so important to know the whereabouts, especially around flags, the whereabouts of the enemy team.
We have lost objective button.
See Chelsea Malarkey here coming in with a heavy tank to Charlie again. He's been dominant here so far. FatSom heavy numbers here and taking down. He goes down to a T-mine there. Got to watch out for them. Not as easy to spot in this game, obviously, as they were in BF4. Stick the infrared on BF4 and you can see it all, couldn't you? Well,
that was a little bit overpowered. I have to say that I'm actually appreciating the situation at BF1, that those mines are not so easily spotted.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
Because I think that now, after playing a while BF1, I have to say that the whole infrared thing was a kind of crazy, because you saw everybody everywhere. The mines, the infantry, everything. So it was a kind of... I think it's better in BF1.
LMNT doing a spot of shopping on Duff. I think he's trying to pick some new shoes or something. He's backed up into the shop there in his light tank.
And when we look at the tickets again, it's another decisive victory for the guys from the FaSo.
A clear
100 points.
No questions asked there. And FatSom makes this look so easy, you know.
It looks easy, but actually when you play it, it's not as easy as it looks like for a spectator. Like when I'm playing, not too much at the moment, but when I was playing and with my squad as well and my platoon, it looks like you have the tactics and you stick with them, but then you get kills that you're not expecting, or the other team is doing something that you were definitely not expecting, totally changed your whole gameplay, and that's where the discipline have to start. It's not that easy as we all think it is, and I believe that the guys from the FaSo got a massive discipline. You can see that they are sticking to their tactics.
And 3 minutes mark is actually in, and players are in. Let's stop mumbling about everything else and concentrate on the real things. Now both teams are utilizing the horsepower right from the get-go. It seems like PxP is now on the red team and FatSom is the blue team. Now let's see what's going on.
When I'm looking at the map, I don't see there any planes. Okay, there's one plane now coming in from the Phoenix. It was quite late. I was surprised by the planes.
They are spawning so back behind the lines, so it's takes some time before they show up in the map. But just when I was talking about the Charlie being the less active flag, PxP have decided that hey, they are not going to go there so easily, so their cavalry went right to the Charlie just to kind of get
And
those. And actually, it's surprisingly how much. Do you see how much red there is? All the flags are basically, except Butters, their home, the FatSom's home flag. All the other flags are going to PxP, which is an extremely good start for PxP.
And now Brayhound is on his plane, and he totally went down. He got destroyed by Sphinx, who's in the fighter jet. He totally destroyed him. He's gone. We can see only Sphinx in the air, and now there's another airplane coming in. When you look at it, that was quite a surprising move. I was not expecting that the PX will go for Charlie, because Charlie is the flag that is further away from them. But they actually pulled it, and they got it.
And the heavy tank from PxP is moving now to Edwards, where there are 3 players. There is Gertie, there is Broha, there is Tifek from FatSom team, and the heavy tank is going right to the middle of the flag area and just driving by, and he's noticing a heavy opposition. There are 3 assaults shooting from all directions to Reggie's balls tank, and the tank is down. Gurchi just gave the final blow to the Reggie Balls tank, and it's out of the game. But there is coming yet another tank. It looks like Chelsea Marquis is coming towards the flag, but he's trying to back up from the 2 enemy tanks. There are 2
yes,
tanks,
exactly.
and they took down the tank in the matter of seconds. Now the cavalry is harassing Rambanov JR's heavy tank, and the cavalry is still running around. He's kind of playing cat and mouse here with Rambo noobs, and he's giving those light anti-tank grenades to Rambo noobs, and the tank has burned down, and it's the final blow was given by Chelsea Marquis from the AT rocket gun. But I have to say that Killstreak Pro did a good job on cavalry there.
It was a very good job. He was following the tanks all the time, and he was harassing them. You know, he was running around. When you look at we look in the air again, there are only 2 fighter jets. They are not doing really much of the damage to the infantry or to the ground forces. Let's say, including the vehicles. Element is in the fighter. He's just following Sphinx. Basically, they don't have any impact on what's going on the grounds because they are focused on each other. And Sphinx jumped out. He let the airplane crash, and he's taken Delta with his other teammates now. Element is alone in the air, and it looks like the guys from the FaSo are dominating the air at the moment.
Just when we mentioned last time the Killstreak Pro's good cavalry work, he actually wasted the 2nd tank as well, and now he's challenging everybody on Butters, still on the horseback, and he's
still
doing
on the
crazy.
horse.
And now he's down. He did a good run with the horse there, worth every penny.
I believe he was in the horse from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, actually, it does look like this, because I was following him right from the bat, and he was the one, I believe, that right through the Charlie. Let's just see the scoreboard, and it seems like, yeah, that was the first time he got killed, because it's 3-1.
And how many kills he got actually? How does it look like for him?
Actually, it's not that good, because it's only 3 kills, but he was doing good job on harassing those tanks and doing all that important work to get their attention.
Yeah.
So the other
He did a lot of damage to the tanks. Yes.
He did a lot of tank and kind of took the attention from the FatSom players. So they didn't have any other choice than try to hunt him down. And meanwhile, all the players could catch flags and start bombarding the tanks with other weapons. So it was a good call.
At the moment, if you look at Bravo, the guys from FaSo have been able to clean it, but now the guys from the Phoenix are trying to push it in because it's being taken by FaSo, and we can see that Reggie Balls is taken down, and he actually got killed. He was trying to kill one of the guys. He was trying to kill Rambo Noob, but he got him earlier. So Reggie is down. We can see Repairman is running around. He's going to defend Delta with Symptom, and Delta is safe now for the guys from the Phoenix.
Just jumped to the Duff, and Rambo Noob's JR just spawned on him. So there are 2 players now from FatSom side are challenging the flag, but there are so many players from the PxP side that he don't have a chance there. No, he was picked down, and Duff still is solidly on PxP side, no question about it. And it's a very exciting game. Look at that ticket count. 102 against 102, and both teams have 2 flags. So it's still anybody's game. And I'm surprised, because this was supposed to be the FatSom map. So they were kind of taking the Amiens with a storm easily, and now when they're on their own map, they are struggling a little bit more. So I have to say that it seems to be a quite good map for PxP.
And yeah, like, you know, the guys from Phoenix, they have to do something. If they don't want to lose it, you know, if they don't want to receive a decisive lose, they have to pull out something. What I can see there is an artillery truck, which is quite an unexpected solution in this kind of a map. There's Chelsea Malarkey driving it around. He's hiding behind the Delta. He can't really see much from there because he's behind the wall. He's somewhere in the field alone. There's no one around him, and still we can see exactly the same. Delta and Echo dominated by by the Phoenix, and Bravo and Charlie. There's nothing, no movement. The flags are not moving at all. They are still being held 2-2 by each team.
I'm following LMNT in the fighter at the moment, and there is a nice dogfight going on in there. It's very difficult to follow from a spectator mode because these flying machines are so fast and so agile that they are kind of going round and round and in all the directions, and I don't know where the enemy plane went. I can't see it anymore.
It's just not possible to predict what will be the next movement.
It's actually, they are, LMNT is challenging the PxP fighter, but these machines are so fast that it's so difficult to keep up with them. As a spectator, but the LMNT seems to have a little bit of trouble keeping up with the enemy fighter as well, because it's constantly doing the same circles as he is. So it's kind of merry-go-round all the time, and I think that this could take like ages. Perhaps I should jump off and took another position.
And meanwhile, if you look at the there was Barrett trying to push in the heavy tank, but he was taken very easily by the map of repairmen. The mine was exactly behind the doors. The tank just went through the building and he exploded straight away. So there was an attempt from the FaSo to take the Delta. There's still one player hiding, actually two of them. There's a few spawns, three of them at the moment, and they are being hunted by 4 Phoenix players. We will see how the Delta will go, but at the moment it's going down, and it's FaSo who's trying to dominate Delta.
They are basically trading flags. At the same time as Delta is going down, Charlie ran for PxP, so it's still 2-2 for both teams.
Now FaSo are taking a little bit of advantage. They are 3 points ahead. That's nothing. Like 3 points are not going to probably change the game at this stage of the game. But still,
hey,
it's about 3 points.
Look at that. Duff is now getting back. Duff is now getting back to PxP, which means that they are gaining the lead. Absolutely. 3 flags is nothing yet, but if they manage to get, but Charlie is moving again. No, it's getting back to PxP. PxP has now the majority of flags, which means that those tickets starts running, so they should be heading up for a good lead if they can keep this up. But it seems like all the action is now on Charlie. Most of the FatSom team are on Charlie, and there are several players from the PxP side as well. Actually, I'm at the Duff at the moment. Sorry, I called the wrong flag because now.
And you didn't. It's starting to improve on Charlie. There's 4 against 4. So what you've been speaking, the situation you've been describing actually got real. So it's a reality that the Charlie has been fighted heavily as well.
And it looks like it could be a reversal here as well, with FatSom about to take up the triple cap here, capping both Duff and Charlie at the same time.
Just when we were calling out that PxP is doing a good job, FatSom reminded us, hey, don't count us out, we are still here. And they turned the tables, totally. Now it's quite the opposite, and they are gaining the lead. So all of a sudden they have something like 14 tickets lead. And I was just calling it for the PxP guys.
If I had an option to estimate on Delta at one point, there was about a good 6-7 players from PX just hiding in the building trying to take Delta, and that was probably the moment that allowed guys from the FaSo to take back Charlie. Then the guys from Delta started to move into the Charlie, but the FaSo used this as well and they took the Delta.
There are
which is now
3 players now from the PxP side capturing Delta or Duff. And there seems to be no opposition from FatSom side, so they are getting a free cap there.
And Mark is back here. Mark, how do you like how the progress of the game at the beginning? Is it something that you would expect?
think he has a little bit of
It
issue
looks like he's
with
having
his
some technical issues. Yes, yes. I was able to hear him for a few moments. Then
no, he was here, but
again.
he's somewhere. Let's just continue here. It seems like Charlie is the place where PxP wants to be. They are challenging FaSo, and Soltec is there with the sniper. Let's see if he can get some good sniping action, because sniper is there as well, as is Nissan Elvis. Now TK is down, and PxP is getting the better out of them. It seems like Charlie is challenged, and again there is nobody left from the FatSom side. So Charlie is going to go down, but at the same time FatSom is already capturing Edwards. So it's all the same.
Edwards, yes, there was one player from FaSo who's Gersey. Gersey was trying to get it alone. Now then we can see that, and he's gone. Actually, I was just trying to say that he's still surviving, but he has been taken out by 3 players from Phoenix who spawned pretty nearly to him, and they just take him back echo. Now the difference is getting a little bit bigger. It's, I would guess, around 12-13 points.
No,
so the difference is still not big.
No, Edwards is heavily invested. There are 3 players and 1 heavy tank. Another heavy tank is actually fighting with LMNT in the tank, and LMNT just got blown away by a house. So he crashed his plane in the house, and it seems like that was probably his... No, actually, he has 0 kills and 4 deaths. So he's not doing that well this time round. Surprisingly.
I think we're giving him the kiss of death in the
Indeed.
there, haven't we?
Indeed, we were overpraising him, and they did the jinx on him, and now he's cursing us the lowest hell possible.
Maybe they just focused on him. You know, they realized how dangerous he is in the previous game. Then they focused on him, and they're taking him out as soon as he shows up somewhere.
He was actually riding by quite a long time with the airplane, but nobody gets him down except those overpowered houses. So he just wasted. He was a little bit too eager to take the tank down. And now FatSom is getting
we've seen him in the previous games with him though. It's not just the kills that he's contributing when he's up in these planes. He's putting flares down, he's spotting it. He does a lot of other work other than just fly the plane around, doesn't he?
Yeah, and hurting, doing some major damage in those flare cars, so the infantry guys can finish it off. So it's not only the score, and that's how the good players are doing it. There is a little bit one-on-one action on Duff, and the heavy tank from PxP is coming in as well. Rambo Noobs is doing a good job, but how long can he survive when there is some infantry and a heavy tank coming in? Rambo Noobs is still managing to stay alive, but how long is that going to stay that way? He's still hanging in there, still challenging both heavy tank. He took down the infantry, but the heavy tank is still there. But Rambo Noobs is doing what his name suggests and dies. Rambo is down.
And now when you look at the map, you can see that's their skill streak flying over on Delta, trying to bomb Delta from his airplane. But actually there are no players from Delta, so he's just dropping bombs, and there are no FaSo players. So I'm not sure why there are no flares that would indicate that he's just not doing any damage to anyone. And he keeps doing the same, and the building still is empty on Delta.
And Reggie
so this is quite
is challenging now the artillery track. Artillery track is in a bad position, but what just happened? Rambo Noobs just took the Regiball's tank from behind very violently, and that's down, and Barrett Bro is still on the RT. He managed to survive, and he was even rammed by an aeroplane, but he's still hanging in there. That's a real piece of art, that one.
Yes. Now, there are a few fights going on, Charlie. You can see that there are 3 guys from Phoenix, 4 guys from Phoenix against 4 guys from FaSo. And there's actually a plane flying over who dropped a few flares, but the guys from FaSo, it looks pretty solid from them. They're probably going to defend Charlie at the moment.
Well, that would be important, because there isn't actually anything else going on in any other flag. Charlie is the only flag where there is some action. Both teams are basically kind of going back to their shelf and trying to just hold what they got. And I would say that for PxP that's not a good tactics. They are only 30 tickets down, so if they would somehow manage to get 1 additional flag, they could easily gain on the tickets. But they are a little bit behind at the moment, so they are the ones that are challenged to do something. FatSom is just okay if they stay like this in the end of the game. That's totally okay. But FatSom is not, of course, taking that because it looks like they are challenging Edwards already, and they are. There is LMNTs. They didn't get anywhere with the airplane, so he decided to go to his kind of main role. Now he's with the heavy tank, now camping that one building on Edwards, and he's getting the flag. And there's nobody challenging him, so he's basically getting a pre-cap. Now when I mentioned that Reggie Balls is in there, he's in support role, which means that he's probably equipped with a limbet charge, and he's just talking there if he could possibly go to the LMNT's tanks, but no, he learned to fly, and an LMNT put him in the very high arc, and he tried to fly to the air, and he's down. Now Edwards is on FatSom, Butters is on FatSom, but Charlie, what's going on Charlie? It's going down.
On Charlie, you can see a pretty solid gameplay from one of the Phoenix guys. His name is Lewis. Lewis is doing pretty well there. He was there alone for a good while against 3 players, and he stood still. He was able to survive, and now the guys from the Phoenix were able to spawn on him. But to Lewis is there alone again, and he's taken 1, and he's down. So the guys from the FaSo are at the end going to defend Charlie. But Lewis was able to get a pretty huge amount of time there, challenging them. Now Charlie is very strong. The guys from FaSo are holding it tight in their hands.
The kill streak is doing again what he does best. So he's in the cavalry, and he's challenging everybody. He's trying to kill everybody on that horseback ride, and he's doing a good job. He's killing guys left and right and still running. He's driving around in Duff at the moment. Nothing really happening there, so he just took some round route back to the Edwards, which is still challenged, but it is actually going to the PxP at the moment, so they're doing a good job there. But he just loves
to see
his
the cavalry out in these games. Absolutely love it. It's just, I mean, imagine having horses in a game. They've got tanks in it. It's just incredible, isn't it? I absolutely love it.
And he's doing an impressive job here. He's doing an impressive job with the cavalry, because in the beginning he was like the first 5 minutes he was doing only cavalry, and he kind of rained down some heavy damage on the tanks. He was shooting down the infantry, and he was killed by Nuskis, who is the sniper. A nice shot from behind, and he's down.
FatSom starting to edge away now. They've picked up that 50 ticket lead. We're 22 minutes nearly into this round. Neck and neck. It still could go either way, but you'd have to say FatSom are starting to edge away now, aren't they?
Now there is some heavy fighting going on Edwards. There are both teams quite well represented. There are actually majority of the players are on the red team, which means the PxP. So they have been quite decisive that we want this flag, we need this flag, and we are going to take this. LMNT and Nixu are there challenging, but is that enough? Now they're still alive, both of them. Where the hell is LMNT? He's hiding behind. He's hiding under the floor here.
He's under the floor.
Oh,
so
that's everybody's walking
they can
over
find
him.
There's 5 players around him. They're not able to find him.
Yeah,
and it looks like they found him now.
They probably think that he's on the top of the building, and now he's down. They actually probably thought that he was on the top of the building on the 2nd floor, but he wasn't. He was right below them.
He was below, and he managed to get 3 kills from there, so that was pretty good. That was pretty nice.
Nasty plays, but again, FaSo with 3 cap and gaining that lead, and it starts to turn to their favor on the FatSom side. I don't think that there is much. They would drastically need some heavy action going on from the PxP side, or otherwise it's going to be a 3-0. They would need to do a miracle by now, but FatSom is defending well. They are not giving any room to the PxP guys, and they are just doing a good job there. Now Gorchi is taking the cavalry route as well, and he's riding around and trying to get some kills, but no dice there. He's basically riding around Chelsea Marquis, but no, now he oh, Chelsea Marquis was inside that windmill, and so Gertie needed to jump off from the horse and then took him out manually, so to speak. And now he's back on the horse ride.
He got confused by the horse pretty much because the horse kept running, but he didn't realize that actually the Guernsey jumped off the horse and the horse was just running by itself, and that was confused Chelsea. He walked out of the building thinking that the Guernsey will be still on the horse, but he was actually behind him because
Yeah, some might say that was a nice decoy.
And if you look at the map, I really like the job of cavalry on both sides. Both the Phoenix and the guys from FaSo are doing very well with both those horses. They're running around the map. They're causing chaos.
That's interesting.
And that's pretty good.
Interesting tactics because, to be honest, we haven't seen that much cavalry action before. So it's interesting that these two teams are both utilizing it quite heavily. Now there's some action on Charlie again. Now PxP wants that flag, and they need that flag, but they are not giving any. Now Sintom is still there, but Element T is again in a vehicle. This time it is the RT, and he's still doing good job in whatever vehicle he is. He's really vehicle expert, and now he's basically just holding tight there. Now this is a good situation for FatSom. They have the two flags they need to keep it up, and they are 14 tickets away from the lead, or from the victory. So they are okay with the situation. PxP is the one that is challenged, and they need to do something drastically, and it's too little too late because 7 tickets
it's too late already. Yes. At the beginning it was very balanced game. If you remember, at 200 points, I think the difference was still only about 5 to 10 tickets, which is, I would say, still no difference. You know, you can turn 5 tickets or 10 tickets around within the matter of seconds. But it was. What do you think was the moment where it cracked on the side of the FaSo and they pulled the win on their side? I believe it was the decisive moment on the Delta or Charlie. Those fights were pretty intense.
Yeah, and it was about that. I think it was the Delta and Charlie situation where FatSom managed to get the other flags as well, and they, for a short while, it was when I was calling it out that the PxP is getting into lead now when they are getting the triple cap, but that's exactly the point where FatSom make the decision that no way, man, you're not going to do that. That's our job, and they just turned the tides just that moment and got the triple cap, and they managed to hold that for quite a long time, and that's when they run away. Totally.
And we can see that the game is live now. There was a quick play from FaSo who are taking Delta already. There was someone who dropped from the plane, and it's actually Nixu who dropped from the plane. He's taking Delta. They are taking Charlie again, and they are doing the same, the exact copy of what the Phoenix showed before. They are taking 3 flags, and the game just began.
Yeah, the game is on, and the sides has turned, so it means that FaSom is now on the red team and the PxP is on the blue team. So it seems like FatSom got quite a nice start with 3 cap already, and somebody from the PxP time mistakenly started capping apples. But luckily that is left alone now because those flags are banned in these 12 against 12 games. The only flag they are gaining from the PxP side at the moment is Butters, and even that is challenged. There is FaSo now moving in to Butters, but he's doing a smart move, not barging in there before people are spawning on him. Now he got Garchi to accompany him, and they are moving to cap. They are moving to Butters, and there is no players left. Actually there are. They were behind the building, and there are lots of players from PxP now defending Butters. But the flag is still going down because there are 3 players, Gurchi, FaSo and Nixu, who are challenging Butters, and there is also several players, 3 players from the PxP side. The only infantry is down, but there is still Chelsea Malarkey with the heavy tank, and he just killed Gurchi there. FaSo is still there, but he is a medic, so he don't have anything for the heavy tank. So basically the flag is standing still, and more guys are spawning into the heavy tank, and they are just keeping the flag. FaSo is still there waiting for guys to spawn in. Somebody just flared the area. Gurchi came back, and they are together against the heavy tank and 2 infantry players. Gurchi is assault, but I don't think that he has a chance alone for that heavy tank, as there are several players, infantry players also. Now the medic is down,
Now-
and so is Gertie.
If you look at the Charlie, meanwhile, there was a very strong push from Phoenix, who got the Charlie. They have been challenged, but they have been able to survive this. Now, again, we can see the same situation where the Phoenix is trying to get the Charlie, and actually they're all dead. So the FaSo is going to get the Charlie back once again,
Yeah,
and
there
the
are 4
FaSo is going to
players.
dominate 3 flags.
There are 4 players from FatSom on Charlie at the moment, and 2 players are challenging it. They managed to spawn to the flag area, and there are 2 players still challenging from the PxP side, but too many players from
I think
FatSom, I would say.
I think it's telling that most of the action has been at Bravo and Charlie so far. I think that sort of shows what's been happening until this point. Edward and Duff have been largely unchallenged, but we can see PxP now starting to pick up Duff as well.
Yeah, it looks like there's action in almost every flag at the moment.
And that's something that we were not really expecting. As we guessed at the beginning of the game, we were expecting much more action in Echo and Delta. On the first game, Delta, there was pretty much action, but on Echo was quiet, I believe, the previous game, and there was much more action on the Charlie that I would ever expect, and
Yeah.
it still persists.
Yeah, you're right. Our strategies in the beginning went down to toilet when the game begins, because there has been lots and lots of actions on Charlie.
And I believe that's the reason why we are not captains, but we are doing the commentary instead.
Exactly. We do what we can, and the players do what they can. Now Chelsea Markey is still on the heavy tank. He probably don't notice that the Butters right next to him is going down. He's just happily shooting down, and Nuskis is moving in and starting to bombard the heavy tank. Now he woke up that, oh shit, there are people around me. And tank is on fire, Nuskis is down, but ST VRC is still bombarding the tank. They are head to head, but now in the very final moment, Chelsea Markey managed to kill the last opposing player, and the tank is down. Chelsea Markey is out, and he's dead also. LMNT, of course, took care of the repairman and the driver at the same nice fly.
That was pretty nice. Now, when you look at the scoreboard, you can see that the guys from the Phoenix are having some issues with the latency. 2 of them. You said previously that the server is an American server, yes, and that the PX, you believe, is the European team. I would really love to see Battlefield or the guys from the DICE development team to fix this somehow, because, you know, if you want to play between the let's say continental teams, definitely needs to be sorted, you know, because in matches like this it's very important to have the great latency.
Well, if they don't dedicate some real nice black fiber channel optics there between the continents, there is nothing DICE can do about it. But that said, I have to say that the game hasn't been exactly solid on showing. When I was joining the server, it showed me an American flag in front of the server. But looking at the latencies, both teams are under 100 ping, which means that this is obviously a European server. There are 2 PxP players that are in over 100 latency situation, but most of the players are under 100. So I would say that both teams are European, and both teams are playing on a European server.
When we look at the map, there are not really any huge fights going on. All the teams are keeping back, and we can see FaSo is controlling 3 maps. 3 flags. They have Charlie in their hands. They are losing Echo a little bit. It looks like the Echo is going to be taken down by the guys from the Phoenix, and they are hiding in the building, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know where they are.
And I can't see anyone there.
Exactly,
It looks
there
like they are
anybody.
all dead. It looks like they are all dead now.
Now there are 2 FatSom players, and they are gaining the flag, so they're getting it back for free. I don't know who was there, but he's not there anymore. And of course, when
It
I
looks
said
like
it seems like LMNT is making sure that there is nobody, so he's spawning those players around and just kind of revealing if there are anyone left. No, because there aren't.
And What do you think? Like, if when you look at how all the teams are doing in the league, not just these two. For my personal belief is that those pilots, if you have a good pilot, that's a very huge advantage for you. He can keep dropping flares. He can kill a huge amount of players, which got a huge impact on the game. And at the same time, he's spawning players. Not when he's in the fighter, but for example, when he's a different kind of a plane. He can do all three things, and that's really a huge advantage.
You're absolutely
to have on your
right
side.
there. A good pilot is a massive asset to the ground players, because that pilot can do not only do damage to infantry and spawn those flares, but he can also do major damage to all the vehicles. I've seen so many times where when a good pilot is bombarding down heavy tanks left and right, and that's a huge asset. When you have the control over air, you probably have a control over the ground vehicles as well. So that's a huge asset. And meanwhile, I was trying to get that on the screen, but I didn't manage to do some technical problems. But it seems like on their league channel of A, they are both playing. FatSom and Phoenix Pyre are the #1 and #2 team on their league A. FatSom is in the lead with 16 points, and Phoenix Pyre is on the second with a shared points of 12 with Hellenic Revolution. But FatSom is in a very clear lead, and that lead is going to grow at least by 3 points from this match. So they're in a good spot. So it's interesting to see when we are going to the next phase that who FatSom is going to face, and if they are going to get some real opposition, because the matches we've seen so far has been pure dominance from FatSom.
We have lost objective.
And there's one thing that I would love to see from in the next updates. You know, something like an official league, or let's say some official leaderboard where you can see all the teams, you know, competing against each other under the set of rules that are set or decided by the officials of Battlefield. So by the guys from the DICE. It would be, I believe, it would be great, you know, if they can pull something like an official league.
Yeah, there are several leagues at the moment ongoing, and it's very difficult to say which one is more official than the other, as long as the DICE is not personally involved.
Now, when we are looking at the map, there are still some intensive fights on Delta, and it looks like that FaSo are going to take Delta from the hands of Phoenix. Now, the difference of the points is getting slowly to 50 again, as we saw in the previous rounds.
And we are facing the same situation on Edwards as well. FatSom is moving into Edwards. There is heavy tank, Barrett Pro with a heavy tank, Sokomfin as an infantry, and Hoodlamp as an infantry as well. Hoodlamp is a sniper, but nobody's actually daring to challenge Barrett Pro into heavy tank, and Edwards is going down. So FatSom is again moving towards a 3-cap situation, which means that difference in tickets is going to be even larger.
Yep, they are going to have 3 flags strongly in their hands. Now, this is the thing: if you hold Charlie, for example, and the other team is holding Bravo and Echo, you can get there pretty easily. But still, in this case, FaSo can still send a lot of support into Charlie if it's needed, and at the same time they can support Delta. So the guys
is trying to challenge Edwards. They sent several guys in there. 1 is down, 2 is down. Then another other is still up, and he's down. Reggie Balls just spawned in. Killstreak spawned in. Killstreak is down, and so is Reggie Balls. Just like that. They challenged Edwards heavily, but all of them were killed. Just in a matter of seconds.
All of them got killed, yes. LMNT was actually flying over at the exact moment when they were spawning, so he dropped a few bombs there, and the flares, so that got a huge impact on it as well. It was a good attempt, but they were trying to push it from one side only, and that's not the way that it's gonna work. So you have to go to split push from multiple sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are still kicking back. There was a little bit challenged on Duff, but there is nobody left, so they are holding the triple gap. And now the far-fetched flag that we were suspecting there is not going to be any spectacular movements. The Charlie flag is the only flag that actually is something going on at the moment. There are equal number of both team players, 2 versus 2. Hoodlamp and Nuskis are there, and the Narrator and Xcood to fail. And Hoodlamp is facing 1-to-1 on with Too Good, and Too Good killed him. Too Good is killing now. Stockholm ran in, Regiball spawned in. There's more and more guys spawning in. Regiballs is still in. The Natherweather came back. Killstreet came back. I think that they are going to challenge Charlie now. Yes, Charlie is going down. There is only STI from and Hoodlamp from the FatSom. Hoodlamp is the only one left, and he's going down as well. PxP is getting Charlie.
And the guys from BxP are, let's say, let's be honest, I'm not sure if they still get a chance. It's 80 points difference. There, of course, there could be some miracle going in where they could pull, let's say, 3 flags.
I don't believe so. They have 6 guys now fighting over Charlie, and that's just too much. They don't. Of course, they are not losing totally when they have at least 1 flag, but 1 flag is not enough, and all their players. Of course, they don't have any other good spawning points, so everybody had to spawn on Charlie, but all the players are now on Charlie, and it's going to be hell of a ride to get to the other flags. And there are already FatSom guys challenging them and pushing them back, so they are pinned down to Charlie.
And this is something that we mentioned at the beginning of the game. If you have Charlie and you want to get away from there, you are on the eyes of the whole map. Yeah. So now we can see FaSo, they keep Bravo, they keep Delta, they keep Echo. If you want to move from Charlie, you are going to be shot straight away, because they can see you from the whole map.
Yeah, and
they got themselves in a very hard position.
Yeah, and FatSom is bombarding left and right. There are infantry, and they are actually capping the flag. Probably they are still spawning in there, and they are. X2 Good is moving into the cap zone, so they are not giving that without a fight. But all those guys were sitting now like ducks in Charlie, and Element T was bombarding them from above, and all the infantry was bombarding them from the ground. So they are getting even Charlie. And could it be that they are actually getting a full cap here? No, Butters is going down. It seems most of the PxP team is on Butters, though. So FatSom is not going to get a full cap.
At this point, you know, I would be expecting some, let's say, rat tactics from the guys at PxP, where I would send even 1 or 2 players to try to cap Delta and Echo, and you know that might force a few players from FaSo to pull back and let the other guys take Bravo and Charlie.
You're absolutely right.
We don't see anything like this.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right there, because that would be their only chance. This 1 flag tactics. Now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 guys on Butters, and that's not giving them anything except that 1 flag, and all the players from FatSom side know exactly where the opposing team is. So all they need to do is gather around the flag and wait from them to run down from there, and that's exactly what they are doing. Now Killstreak is again on cavalry. He's riding around and trying to kill Gertie, and he managed to do that, or actually somebody managed to do it. It was the horse, it was the ghost. Killstreak is still there, and he's down.
And he's going down. Now, there was a small exchange of the flags. The guys from the PX, they lost Charlie, but they took Bravo instead. Not a huge difference. Still, they are 1 flag to 3 flags controlled by FaSo. You can see that there's actually an artillery truck very back in the field.
Yeah,
and he's bombarding Bravo.
Element T is now moving towards Charlie in a artillery track.
And they just keep holding this. This is a very good position. There are 2 artillery tracks actually. There's one on next to the Charlie, where's Element T, and we got 1 more controlled by Rambo noobs next to Delta. They're both focusing their shots on Bravo and Charlie. If you try to escape from there, you are probably going to be shot straight away. Very, very bad position for the guys from the PX. They just can't move off that 1 flag. They are stuck in 1 flag, and they're unable to advance.
And the same happened again. The whole team of PxP went for Charlie, and they got it. But that meanwhile, FatSom just grabbed the Butters back. So it's only 1 flag all the time for PxP, and that's not the way you can win this, unfortunately. Of course, it's easy to say from here that they do something, but those FatSom guys are just so talented that they are giving a very hard time for PxP to do basically anything. They can barely hold the Charlie flag. They have the heavy tank in there, and they have lots of infantry in there, but they can barely hold it. The flag is still with them, but all the other flags available are with FatSom at the moment.
And you know, if you look at this, I believe that this is the price that you have to pay for losing three rounds one after each other. You know, if you lose 3 rounds, your morale is pretty low and you're not focused on it anymore, and it's very hard to keep the discipline level and the morale level on the same.
Now Barrett Bro is with the heavy tank from the FatSom side, and he just wasted Chelsea Malarkey with his heavy tank, so C is in jeopardy as well. But at the same time, Butters is going down. There are now several players. Now it seems like the Netherrader just gave some love from the shovel to STI VRC, and now the heavy tank is moving in for the cap. But there are several players from PxP, so they are hanging on Charlie. Now they did a smart move. They left some guys behind to still defend Charlie, and Butters was going down as well. But it seems like Butters is now getting it is still getting to the PxP. So PxP is getting finally back in the equal situation, 2 flags each. But the tickets are already 307 and 442, which is extremely bad situation. They are so much behind.
It's almost 140 tickets. When you are playing for 500, that might be quite too late. And overall,
Charlie is going down already.
They just keep moving between one flag and another, and this is just not the way it's gonna work. You need to leave few players to defend, and the rest of them push not 1 but 2 flags.
Yeah, and we're back in the situation when they have only 1 flag on the PxP side and 2 flags for the FatSom. Duff is going down though, so Reggie Balls is there with his horseback ride, and there is only Finn who is challenging them with the sniper rifle, and there are 2 guys from the PxP side, so they are getting that flag. There are 3 guys now: Chelsea Marquis, Craael, and Reggie Balls with the horseback ride. That horse was on fire for a minute, and the Element T is bombarding down. He managed to get Chelsea Marquis from the building, but the flag is still going. Now flag is going down. It's no man's flag at the moment. Now Craael came back to the gap zone, as did the horseback guy, and they are getting the flag. Barrett Pro is moving in with tank, but there are 3 players, actually 2 players left. Nix spawned out of the tank, and they are challenging. Duff is now, at least for a short while, it is still with PxP, but how long? Because Element T is there, Barrett Pro is there, Nixu is there. It's only a matter of seconds when it starts going down, and it goes down now. Now, does anybody even spawn in there? No, and that doesn't really matter. 493 tickets, 94, so 6 tickets left, and it's going to be a clean sweep.
And this game, I believe, like, it might sound a little bit biased on our side, that we were on the side of the FatSo, but the game they pulled, unreal, unbelievable. It was a very good tactics. They had a very good discipline. When they were losing points, you never see a full squad or full 2 squads running there. It was always just a few players to secure it, and they can continue. It was, I believe, that the first round of the second and third round were the best, the most balanced ones. The first and the last rounds were totally decisive victories for the guys from FaSo. Yeah. Very good matches.
Absolutely, and I'm not taking any sides here, but I have to say that it's easy to be on the winner's side, because they were doing such a good job once again. They were playing the right strategy, they were playing with the right players, and they were just a better team. What can you say? I'm pleased with the performance they did.
It was a very good show from the both of the sides, I believe, and it was a very nice match, a very nice match to watch. I don't think that there's anyone who's disappointed in this. Both teams showed good performance. In this case, FaSo was the one that was on the side that was stronger and that was winning.
And beep, 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 beep. Latest news. Element T just messaged me that it was quite easy when they managed to nick the enemy tank. So one of the FatSom tanks was actually stolen from the PxP side. But FatSom thought that it was a nice game for a change, that there was some equal situation in all rounds, and it was good because the past few games has been a total runovers. This wasn't a total runover. It was still like the ticket difference on a 2,000 tickets for grabs, and the total ticket difference was 519 tickets. So it wasn't so obvious as it might have seen from our commentary, because the first round was 301, the second one 398, the third one 431, and the last one 351. So altogether it was 2,000 against 1,481, 519 apart. That's not so huge. Okay, it was a full round of 519 tickets, so over a full round, but still, I think that PxP did a good job, especially in the beginnings of the round. For some reason, towards the later parts of the round, the FatSom started to take the kind of overall ownership of the rounds, but altogether, a good beginning of each round.
It was a very good match. All of the teams started strong in the rounds. Then after a while, FaSo were able to push more effectively when they were more effective in catching flags, and the movement on the map was much better on their side. You know, you never have the match where both teams are equally strong, because it would end in a draw. But in this case, I believe both of the teams showed a very good gameplay. There were unreal players and unreal plays on both sides, and overall, I feel very good from these matches.
Yeah, indeed. But hey, I think we call it a night. Thank you for all the viewers. Thank you for my colleagues on the commentary booth as well. It was a nice game, and we'll be back again for more later on. Thank you everybody, and good night.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.